Welcome to Quack Co, the board game channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed.
Or double your money
today,
back.
we're asking if you should back Marvel United Multiverse, the third season of this titan
So excited.
of a board game.
It's great.
And this is a series that we're doing on every single campaign that crosses the coveted 2,000 backer threshold.
Yep.
Now, we do know, this being a CMON campaign, we actually have another metric which will trigger a secondary video, a final last 48 hours video here on Quack Co.
Yep.
As long as a campaign crosses the $1 million mark, we'll do a follow-up looking at all the stretch goals and all the additional information you need, including updates between now, day one, the launch date, and the actual final production. That being said, this series, Before You Back, has a 100-point rating scale, 10 different categories, 0 to 10 on each one of them. We'll break down and let you know whether or not it is a avoid at all costs, a pretty reasonable, confident back, or
Why aren't you backing this already? Your money should be in here.
like the best investment you could realistically make.
Yeah.
West, let's start going through. And to start with, can you please go ahead and give us a quick setup of what exactly Marvel United is?
Yes.
For those few people who don't know.
Yes, since 25,000 of you know from the last campaign, but basically Marvel United is a card-based system where you are Marvel heroes. You are going around a board that you're setting up with your different cards, your tableau, and you're trying to defeat various villains throughout the series. It is a team game, so it's a cooperative. You're working together using the different abilities that are on your cards to try and save civilians, defeat thugs, and also counter threat cards that are happening throughout the game. Very entertaining, lots of fun, good game.
Like we said, already established 2 seasons prior, we're going to start off with our first category, which is Publisher. This is going to be a CMON Cool Mini or Not title. And to start here, we do have to put a little caveat that we have a relationship with them, working relationship. We're one of the campaigns featured on this, so keep that in mind as we break down these categories. But we're judging the Kickstarter and not necessarily the game in and of itself. Exactly. So, the Publisher. We gave CMON a 9 out of 10. Now, we gave them a little bit of a ding because largely they have outstanding projects.
Yeah, they do have several outstanding projects.
Which is one thing to factor in. And they have a lot of overhead when it comes to like deliveries actually hitting on time. There's usually a few delays, shipping costs in the back end. There's always a few little flags that are worth noting.
And being a giant publisher, there are top opportunities where you're not maybe as close with your campaign backers as some of the smaller campaigns are, and they have more rigid schedules, things that they have to fit through, and they just have a different feeling sometimes.
That being said, if you're going to put your money anywhere in the gaming industry, CMON's going to deliver.
It's going to happen.
Moving down to our second category.
Designer. So the main designers on this is going to be Andrea Cervasio, yes. And if you know Marvel United, you know the game, and you know that each iteration has been better and better and better. So this is a straight up 10. He's done a fantastic job. Very excited to have the opportunity.
This is a highly received and highly regarded campaign or not campaign, highly regarded cooperative game with tons of different modules and ways to approach it. Like in this campaign, they're releasing a brand new solo mode. They've already proven they know how to integrate with an old system because they've already done Season 2 X-Men. So we're very strong on this. We're very confident in what they're delivering. And it doesn't hurt that we've been able to actually play it. And
which is helpful.
Great.
So reviews. One of the things that we look for in campaigns are there snippets from different what do you call them, like things, this is the greatest game ever listed there, as well as videos from producers or from reviewers showcasing the different things about the game. Now on this,
we're very honored to be one of the 2 gameplays that are here. We got to show off some new characters, and we were very excited about that. Dice Tower as well is going to be featured on this campaign. They have the brand new solo mode, which looks really cool. And Boardgame Co. did get access and did play some of these, but he's not directly featured on the page.
Correct.
Outside of that, due to the nature of it being Season 3, and also the nature of how CMON normally runs their campaigns with not a lot of doubling down on other outside opinions, you are going to be looking at this. You're not going to see a lot of quotes. You're not going to see a lot of reviews. They are out there in plethora. However, we're giving this a 6 out of 10.
Because it's not heavily listed on the actual campaign, which is generally what most people look for when you're actually looking through the campaign.
If you're a brand new backer and you're just scrolling the campaign page and you don't want to go do an hour of extra due diligence, I like seeing a few things in here that are just statements of authority.
Agreed. Next is going to be production quality. So when you actually get your game, what kind of quality are you going to be receiving as far as the pieces and so forth that you're getting? Now, this we gave them a very solid 8 because we know that the pieces you're going to get, they're going to be good, but they're not going to necessarily be the extra mile amazing because you could probably purchase those as add-ons and upgrades.
So that's the thing. You can get the plastic tokens, cardboard locations if you want, but the normal pledge, even if you go all in without doing some of those deluxified upgrades, you're going to be getting standard cardboard, which is nice, but not perfect.
Agreed.
And your tile locations across the board are going to be regular paper. So, solid 8 out of 10.
Solid 8 out of 10.
Production's going to be great. Miniatures are going to look fantastic, but there are ways to spend more to deluxify your copy.
Now, we're going to talk about exclusives. Oh, Nelly.
I mean, I think if I just scroll down a little bit farther, we're going to start seeing a tag. This tag right here is literally everywhere.
Yeah, that basically means this entire campaign is exclusive. Our understanding is that there is going to be a retail version, but it is nothing like this.
Spin Master is going to have a Spider-Geddon release sometime this summer. That seems to be the deadline that we're being told. That is going to be the first purchase that you technically make if you want to continue expanding your Marvel United, and then this will be arriving after that, somewhere around early next year.
Right, yeah, March is when they're aiming for it. So because of that, basically everything being exclusive, we're giving them a solid 10 because everything's exclusive.
And other than campaigns like this that have reprints or relaunches, CMON very rarely brings a title back to Kickstarter. They just did it for the first time with Cthulhu Death May Die in years. So this is a 10 out of 10 when it comes to Kickstarter exclusives.
Now let's talk about savings. Are you going to be saving anything in this campaign? It's a really hard ask there because there isn't necessarily a retail version to compare it against.
If you're comparing it against the base box, either with X-Men or Marvel or the Spider-Geddon that's going to be coming out, those are going to be at an aggressively deeper discount.
Right.
You can already buy the base box off Amazon with the Spider expansion for something like $14.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
If you get it at the right time period. That being said, the nature of this being exclusive means the price, it's not necessarily a great deal, but it's a very good value deal, and it is what it is. This is where you get it. If you buy it third party, second hand, after it's already arrived to backers, you're going to be paying a lot more.
Yeah. So we're going to give it a solid 8 there for savings. Now, retail, is this going to retail? No. So therefore it gets a 10 because there is not going to be a retail option in this. It is exclusive.
An entirely different version.
Yeah, exactly. Now, their production schedule, they did say that they're aiming for March of 2024. So, is that realistic within that time frame? It's a little bit over a year.
I think it probably is. I think they're going to be within that range.
Right.
That being said, CMON does have some outstanding projects. They do have some projects that feel a little bit delayed considering other things that have arrived before them, even though they were launched afterwards.
Yeah.
However, they do usually keep every project self-contained within its own timeline, and usually it has more to do with development, production, and shipping than it does necessarily one individual project. Like, I know a lot of the things that cause delays are if a game needs more development work and not really the production schedule. Whereas here with Marvel United, everything's ready to go. The only things that's going to need development work from this is going to be the stuff that they listened to backers on during the campaign, and the stuff they add in due to your fan requests.
Which is really cool that they do, but that does take time, so it can potentially push things back. So because of that, we did give them a solid 8. All right, and the next one will be, will it hold its value?
It's a CMON game. The answer is yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely going to hold its value.
Come on.
Give me a break.
Deluxified stuff always sells higher from CMON.
Yeah.
I'm not a financial advisor.
Also true. The last category is going to be final price. Now, what is it? Not necessarily the overall price, but it is, you've now done your pledge, you're in the pledge manager. How
right
much
now,
are you
the entry level West is $100.
That's
or $65 at the base, $100 if I want to go all in.
I'm so excited.
Is my price going to be that by the end of this campaign?
Not a chance. No, definitely not. In the pledge manager, there's going to be an all-in for sure, most likely. Hopefully there's going to be a pledge that's an all-in, but even that sometimes has additional things that will be added into it potentially.
This gets a solid 0 out of 10. We will, though, go back once they've done a potential all-in for the final video on this, the final verdict at the end of this campaign. That being said, our final score.
It's a 79, and that's a really good score overall, especially for a campaign that doesn't have anything stretch goal unlocked yet.
Yeah.
Anything that's a
0 to 30 is a do not back at all.
Run away.
30 to 50 is a little
Buyer
risky.
beware,
50 to 60,
idea.
it's a good back, but there's some caveats.
Yep.
60 to
61.
70.
It's a decent back, but there's probably some issues. But if you really love it, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Anything 71 to 80, that's a very solid back.
Very strong back.
Anything 80 or above, it's questions why aren't you backing it already?
Should be. And so this one may actually get popped up by
Yep.
the end of this campaign. That being
For sure.
said, if you've watched to this point, hopefully we give you a little bit more insight, a little bit more information. And remember, check out Quack Co before you back.